Hello everyone, this is a crossover between Once Upon a Woman video and What If in History. You know that I've been reviewing the Serpent Queen and that I've been extremely annoyed with the portrayal of Catherine Medici, but also of, it's not that it's a show, can take artistic license or not, it's the fact that literally they're bringing back people from the dead and they're not even following the timeline, the political events or anything, so it makes it very hard to watch it. But I thought that I would do two things. I would explain to you why Elizabeth I of England and Catherine de Medici, who are the two most important characters in my first book, Blood, Fire and Gold, why they never met in real life. So I will give you the reasons why. I will also give you the reasons, like, exactly when they could have actually met. But after that, I would like to say, what if? What if they actually had met? Because actually one ambassador, Bertrand Salignac de la Motte Fénelon, wondered and even thought that if they had met, they would have been friends. And I guess I would like to give my take on this. Alright, so we know that Catherine de Medici and Elizabeth I didn't meet in real life, and in the show, in The Serpent Queen, they actually did meet in real life, which is very interesting. Now, the reasons why they never met, honestly, I said it before in other videos, Catherine de Medici wanted to meet Elizabeth. She offered to meet in Dover or Calais, saying like it's only 3 hours, a few hours away from each other. We could definitely do it, on a sunny day. We could probably see each other, she was saying very funny things in her letters, and she insisted about it. She said that she wanted to come to the court of England, and when actually her son Francis, Duke of Anjou, is going to be invited in the summer 1579 and then in 1581, Catherine de Medici wondered why she hadn't been invited. And so I've been thinking more and more about this, of why Catherine de Medici wanted so badly to meet with Elizabeth and why Elizabeth really didn't want to meet with her. And it comes down to a few reasons. The first one, I believe, is that Elizabeth didn't really see Catherine as an equal. It might be hard for some people to hear, but that is also just the truth. And we know that because Elizabeth actually wrote that quite bluntly in one of her letters to Catherine de Medici. To give you a bit more context, Catherine de Medici was telling Elizabeth that as a woman, you get power through motherhood, that she got power through her motherhood and through the fact that she had sons who became kings. And this was a very touchy-feely topic for Elizabeth, and Elizabeth was like, no, you got power through motherhood, but I got power from power, because I'm the daughter of a king. And basically Elizabeth wrote, I'm the daughter of a king, and you're not. I don't need to have sons who become kings to be powerful. I'm powerful because I am the ruler of my country. So the fact that here she bluntly said what she thought, and that's very Elizabeth, and despite what people might say about her, and the fact that I think that's why she was like, well, why would I invite someone who's not my equal at my court? Why would I invite someone who thinks is my equal, thinks that she can convince me to marry and have children and to my court? And so there was this reason, like there was this really big thing for Elizabeth where she had no interest in having Catherine at her court. The second reason, I think, was also because it helped her delay everything. It helped her delay negotiations. So in The Serpent Queen, the TV show in season 2, they said that, in 1572, ridiculous at the whole timeline, just watch my video. But they said like, in 1572 you have Catherine de Medici. She says she's not interested in having a trade an alliance with England. She'll do that later on. It's not true. She offered her son Charles IX in 1564, then 1568, 1569. Then she offered Henry, Duke of Anjou, 1771, and then she offered Francis from 71, 72 up to 81, 82, 83, because the French didn't get the memo that Elizabeth was not actually going to marry any of the Valois princes. But here, so I think the fact that she was delaying an answer for like over 10 years, it showed that she had no interest in seeing Catherine. And if she had seen Catherine, received Catherine at court, it would have been a very strong sign that she was actually agreeing to a prospective marriage. So I think for these two reasons, Elizabeth had no interest in accepting Catherine de Medici's, desire to visit the court of England. And Elizabeth herself had no desire to visit France herself, mostly for the same reason, because it would have been a strong sign that she was actually interested in marrying one of Catherine's sons when she wasn't. So she didn't see how it would have been a good move for her to accept an invitation to the French court, or to invite them, and Catherine in particular, to the English court. So this is why, they never met in person. I think there are also other reasons that came into play, but these were the main ones. Now, what if it had happened? What do I think would have happened? In a way, I think that I do know them really well. It sounds crazy, but I spent years with their respective letters, and years, and I feel like it's weird, but I have an idea of both of their personalities, and I often, when I give talks, I'm often asked, like, do you think they could have been friends? Do you think they were similar? And in many ways, yes. So I think that in terms of personalities, they're extremely similar, mostly because they both had to overcome so much to get where they were. So Elizabeth as Queen Regnant and Catherine as Queen Mother of France. It's a title she invented for herself. It's a title she made up for herself. It's a very strong title, Queen Mother of France. Because you see, like, obviously she's playing the fact that she is the mother of kings, which was very important for Catherine, but she's also playing the fact that she's just the mother of France. And that's a very strong, powerful statement to make for a half Italian, half French. She was often vilified because of her Italian origins, when actually she was also half French on her mother's side. So I thought that was very interesting. And now, if they had met, do I think they would have get along? Yes. When would that happen, and what it would have looked like? So realistically, I think that if they had met up in real life, it would have happened before 1572. Realistically, I think it would have happened even before that Francis, Duke of Alençon, then Duke of Anjou, was offered to Elizabeth. So I think anything from 1565, 1566 to 50-70. And I would even argue that maybe a bit earlier, 1563, 64, when they were conspiring against Mary Stuart together to make sure that she would not marry Don Carlos, the son of Philip II of Spain. It was not in their interest. And so they did work, in many ways together to make sure that it didn't happen. So would it have been a good moment for them to meet in person? Probably. Where would it have happened? I think it would have happened in France. Yeah, I think it would have happened in France. I think that it would have been very difficult for Elizabeth to make Catherine de Medici come to England, the Catholic queen to a Protestant country, with everything that happened with Mary I of England, with all our privy councillors. I think it would have made more sense, actually, if she had gone to France. So that I can say, like, the Serpent Queen got it right, because I think France would have been the place where they would have met. No, I don't think they would have met in the Château de la Loire, Chenonceau, Amboise. No, I think they would probably have met somewhere closer to Calais. Though it would have been a very tricky path for Elizabeth to accept that, because obviously she was trying to get Calais back. So it would have been a bit of slap in her face type of move. So somewhere not far from Paris, maybe in Paris, maybe in the Louvre. Maybe it would have been the best place to receive, actually, Elizabeth and, you know, her court, the people who would have accompanied her. And I think that they would have discussed religious matters, but most importantly, I think they would have discussed in person female rulership and what it meant to do it at the time. And it's why I think that, you know, the ambassador, when the French ambassador Bertrand Salignac de la Motte-Fénélon said that they would have become friends, I think they would have bonded in person on the fact that they both had to rule in a very male-dominated world. And do I think it would have changed history if they had met? It's a good question. Because towards the end, around 1585, and then at the death of Mary Stuart, 1587, there's a real break. Like Catherine Medici really despised Elizabeth. But when we see that, when Catherine Medici died, Elizabeth sent letters to Henry III of France, her son, and she wrote really nice things about Catherine Medici. So I think there was like always a huge admiration, even if Catherine Medici was not the daughter of a king. I think Elizabeth respected the fact that Catherine Medici had been mother of kings, but also had made her name for herself and had tried to rule France in her own right in many ways. And I think she respected that. So yes, I think would the meeting early on would have changed? Probably. Maybe on Catherine, maybe she would have tried to understand more Elizabeth and what she did and why she did what she did with Mary Stuart. But in many ways, it would not have changed the outcome of them like completely splitting up, because Catherine Medici made a choice to side with the Guises, and her son made a choice to side with Elizabeth I and Navarre, the King of Navarre. And I don't think that any meetings would have changed that. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think would have happened if Catherine Medici and Elizabeth I had met in person. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you. See you next time. Bye!